Last year I posted a short video saying, hey, y'all gotta wake up to the fact that the Braytech Werewolf is legitimately a scary good open field dueling auto rifle. Now that video popped off last year and some people came around and they saw the light. And to prove my point and revalidate that notion, today I'm bringing you clips and duels in the thick of skill-based matchmaking, duels against adept hand cannon wielding upper echelon gamers, duels against juggernaut shotgun aping Crayola munchers, duels against at least half a dozen active supers barreling towards me, and the Braytech Werewolf says, you know what? I'm here to dominate some haunted sectors and chew up guardians. And haunted sectors, they ain't launching for another 4 days. Tebow, you're breathing too loud, bud. I'm trying to record commentary here. I'm trying to entertain the people, and you're over here breathing like a freaking maniac. This auto rifle had me surprising people left and right, so much so that one guy actually swapped his Braytech Werewolf on mid-match after his palindrome wasn't delivering in our duels, and another guy decided he needed to toss on a GL to prime me up after the fact. Even so, the Werewolf took me to the top of almost every leaderboard this morning in a control environment that usually doesn't let me do that so easily these days. So the moral of the story today, if I had to boil it down to one simple sentence, it would be this. When Festival of the Lost lands next week, make sure you are checking the rolls on your werewolves to find any hidden gems. Don't pass up the opportunity to land a good roll on what I think is one of the best dueling autos in the game. Let me give you a brief refresher on this bad boy. The Werewolf, it's a kinetic precision frame auto rifle exclusive to the Festival of the Lost annual event. It's based on the Winterwolf auto rifle from the Destiny 2 Year 1 DLC Warmind. Raise your hand in the comment section if you were here for that. It has really solid base stats compared to other auto rifles in its subfamily. Consider, for example, the Amit precision frame auto rifle that's getting lots of love these days, and rightfully so. The Amit has a base range of 61. Shadow Price, the Nightfall weapon, has a base range of 63. But the Werewolf, naughty girl that she is, she sits at a nice 69 base range. The Amit has 45 base stability, which is just slightly better than the Werewolf's 41, but the recoil direction on the Werewolf is much more vertical than the others. The Werewolf also has the highest aim assist value of the three. The Amit, to play devil's advocate, it does boast that 17 zoom value, which is a real boon to the weapon and should not be overlooked, but when it comes to general dueling capacity, I have to say that the Werewolf feels considerably easier to manage than the others to me personally. One of the things that I feel separates the Werewolf from other autos to me is the perk pool. The Amit has some banger perks for raw dueling, I will not lie. The combo of surplus and tap the trigger is downright delicious, and it's also got dynamic sway reduction in the first column as well. In the Werewolf, it has the same possibilities in its perk pool to roll for straight up mega stability, with perks in the first column like dynamic sway reduction as well and under pressure, and also tap the trigger and elemental capacitor in the second column. But the Werewolf has one thing that I think is important to note that the others, they don't have, and that's the presence of vorpal weapon. Vorpal makes this thing a super destroyer in PvP, and in the gameplay, in this video, I put down multiple golden guns, multiple Nova Warps, a Shade Binder, a couple Spectral Blades, a Hammer of Soul, and even a cartwheeling Arc Strider, all within the course of just a couple of hours of playing. The potential of Vorpal cannot be overstated. Oftentimes, a match is decided by a super that wipes half your team or vice versa. With Vorpal Weapon on my auto rifle, I'm keeping enemy supers in check, essentially being the fun police when they've waited, most of the game to get that Shade Binder cooled down and ready to go, just for me to put them down in under a second with the damage that I'm pumping out. And golden guns get absolutely melted because they don't have any damage resistance as it is in that super, so Vorpal Weapon is actually helping me do more damage to a golden gun than I do to a standard Guardian. So I actually went ahead and infused my Werewolf up just because I plan on keeping it handy when supers come up in Trials of Osiris matches. I want to be able to have it on me just to swap to on those rounds to bang down roaming supers that usually decide the outcome of a round. And I know some people really believe that it's like against unwritten Destiny rules and etiquette to swap your loadout around in Trials matches, but I find it a complete waste of mental energy to believe in an honor system in a video game like Destiny. Especially when some of the teams that I face run like triple Void Titans with max resilience and intellect, spamming barricades on every single corner of every single lane for overshields and free peaks, and then literally refuse to fight until either you push them or the round goes to cap point where their overshields and barricades have the edge. So I refuse to feel bad about keeping a friggin' werewolf ready for a roaming super. Now the last thing I think I ought to mention regarding the werewolf is that Bungie is giving this weapon a direct buff here very soon. So you'll want to make sure that you keep a good one lying around somewhere. Bungie is giving auto rifles a blanket buff to their overall ease of use in the form of a significant recoil reduction tied to the stability stat value. So these things are going to get much easier to handle. In addition, Bungie is buffing the precision family of auto rifles like the Werewolf as well, giving them even more precision damage, so they'll now be pumping out 31 damage to the head. Now this doesn't shorten the optimal TTK, but it does make the weapon more forgiving, allowing you to hit one more body shot in your volley of bullets and still hit that optimal time to kill. Unless your opponent is running max resilience, then it will still remain the 6 to the head, 1 to the body. But otherwise, now you're looking at 5 to the head and 2 to the body. These things are about to feel really good. And that concludes my polite reminder to get one of these Braytech Werewolves. You will not regret it. I know you're going to be focused on that shiny new sniper rifle next week, and that's great. I mean, I can't wait to get a god roll on one of those too, and get a review of it up on the channel ASAP. But don't tunnel vision on it. The Festival of the Lost has a couple of my favorite weapons, including the Werewolf and the Jurassic Green as well. I'm a big fan of that gun too. So stay alert, be on the lookout for banger weapons in the coming weeks. Thanks so much for watching the video today. Please feel free to leave a like on the video only if you enjoyed it. And if you did not enjoy it, hey, please leave a comment and be sure to include a clever insult. Not the low-hanging fruit insults that most people put in there that take no creativity at all. I want to read your comment and like really feel self-conscious about it. Think about it for hours later while I'm laying in bed waiting to fall asleep. So click on the leave a comment space below and then let the cursor blink for a minute or two while you really dig deep for an insult that will leave me wondering if it's time for me to hang up my YouTube hat. Otherwise, hey, feel free to say something nice and I'll be sure to thank you for it and for your contribution to my healthy measure of egoism. Nothing too over the top though, I don't want to get an overinflated ego. Hey, that's enough of that. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.